Okay, we're back. We've got another one today. Right, this one is for your back. I've got a few variations of different back workouts I do, but I normally have a muscle up variation as well as a front lever variation. So we've got the muscle up one, I normally do that first, and then the second week we alternate with the front lever focused back workout. I'll be going over all of these myself on the channel, so you'll see them. When I do them, I'll film them, I'll put them together, I'll put them on here for you. So win-win, right? I'll give you something. But yeah, a lot of it you might be saying, it's too hard for me, I can't do it. You can do it, you've got to be patient, and you just need to make sure you work through the correct progressions to get there, right? So the muscle up, for example, some low set rings, hands in, right? Focus on keeping that full grip position, and then we want to just walk yourself down. Just lower through. Just lower through. You can go one leg, you can take both legs off, you can do whatever. Just obviously having two legs on the floor is going to be the easiest. One leg's going to be a little bit harder, and then having no legs on the floor is going to be the hardest, right? Work through that negative portion. Just focus on dropping your weight down. So from the rings in, just coming down. We also have the dipping portion at the top of the movement, the front dip to finish off the muscle up, but we do that more on I focus on that more on chest days. My dips are fine. I can do front dips fine. Okay. If you can do dips, you can probably do a few front dips. You can at least have the strength to get yourself above the bar for your first muscle up. So if you can do dips, don't worry about drilling the dip portion of it. The most important thing you're going to want to cultivate is your pulling strength. Okay, that's what this workout is based around. And I'd like to talk about your hand position for the muscle up. A neutral grip is like that, yeah? Neutral grip. If we want a false grip, which is really what we need to shift our weight above the bar, once we get our shoulders above it, we need to focus on cultivating that false grip, right? It's basically a 90-degree angle. As good as you can get. We want to practice hanging like that. You do this on rings as well. If you want to do ring muscle ups, you need the false grip. Now you can use a grip like this, a neutral grip, if you're using momentum to get yourself up, because then we have enough force to switch. But if we're doing it nice and controlled, we need that fixed in position so we can come up and then press off that base that stays there, right? You understand that motion? If you can't do the muscle up section, just do everything after the muscle up section, because it will all lead up to you getting your first muscle up, okay? We're taking time to hang in that full grip position with a 90-degree angle between the wrist and the arm. This workout was about 2 hours long, so it's a bit of a hefty one, alright? So take your time. General rule of rest, I take about 2.5 minutes. 2.5 to 3 minutes. If we're doing weighted sets, then you probably want to take a little bit longer, up to the 3-minute mark. For unweighted movements, 2 to 2.5 minutes. No problem. Even shorter if you've got the endurance for it, but we build that over time, so do what you can, alright? What are we going to do with this then? Let's call it Muscle Up Madness. I don't know, let's give them some different kind of titles. That's where we start with the scapula pull-ups. Now these are a really good way of improving your ability to depress and retract your scapula. Depression, so we're bringing them down. Your elevation is up here, up near the ears. You can do it when you're hanging. Working the depression and retraction during the active hanging portion of this. We're going from a dead hang to an active hang, working that retraction and depression. See, this has a benefit with the muscle up because it allows you to generate the initial pulling force with your scapula, and then your lats initiate, and then you shoot up. It's that simple. 8 reps of this will do you just fine for preparation, alright? Okay, so now we move on to the standard back stretch. All you've got to do is grab something in front of you and lean back with it, basically. If you move your hips in and out, you'll be lengthening and shortening the lat throughout that motion, so it's a bit more of a dynamic movement as opposed to just standing there with a static stretch for 15 seconds. And something a bit weird here, you might be thinking, why is this in the warm-up section? Why are you doing ring muscle ups for a warm-up? Well, I like to drill the transition portion first, so I have I just have that in my head, you know, just so when I do get above the bar, I know exactly what I'm doing. I've already drilled the motion. I've made sure my shoulders can handle it. So let's talk about chalk here. So you can't maintain a false grip unless your hand is above the bar, right? So we've established that. So how do we keep the hand above the bar? Well, grip strength obviously is the first one. However, chalk is going to be a massive help for you if you're having trouble that grip strength, alright? So we're removing the moisture from the hand to improve our grip strength with the chalk, okay? We can use powder chalk, you can use liquid chalk, whatever you like to use. I got this My Protein one. It's cheap, it's like £5 for a bottle. It's lasted me about 2 years, so it goes a long way. And also make sure you set the rings at an even height. So if you're hanging the rings off of a tree branch, for example, which is uneven, as it's a tree branch, you're going to have to hang them at different heights, right? If you're doing rows, for example, in a park, and you need your feet even, it might not be even, so one ring might have to be a little bit higher than the other. Okay, next up we have the actual muscle up. So now we're getting into the first official exercise of this routine, alright? The plan is we do 4 sets with weights, and then we do 2 sets without weights. You should feel a bit lighter after doing the weighted sets, so that's the idea of it, at least anyway. It makes that high pull portion a bit more explosive when you come to do those in isolation. And yeah, going from weighted to unweighted always feels so nice. Kind of feels like flying. Right, so for the first set of weighted muscle ups, I was using a 10 kilogram plate. I then dropped down to a 6, but for the first 2 sets of the weighted pull-ups, we used a 10 kilogram plate. You know, this was hard, I'm not going to lie to you. This workout was a bit of a marathon, to be honest. So I had like an active rest day and then a complete rest day before I tried this workout. So you might want to do something similar. Make sure you're actually prepared for this one, alright? Yeah, and I've only just started loading up my muscle ups and dips with weights. So this is just a start for me. But do what you can do. You don't even need to use the weights, to be honest. You could just do the 6 sets of standard muscle ups, or as many as you can do. And then we work on the pulling portion, dip portion, everything else in isolation, alright? You don't have to do full muscle ups to start. I'll be chucking in some advice about grip position, wrist position, all that kind of stuff. But I'll break down those movements in later videos. Okay, if you try and keep the weight like clamped between your legs, just clamp it, you get kind of a pendulum motion. You'll see what I mean, just try it. If you can do a good amount of normal muscle ups anyway, try it with weights. With the 6 kilogram, I went for 6 reps on my first set, which was a bit stupid. I should have stopped because the next set I got 4, not 6 again. It's alright though, I mean there's still plenty more muscle ups to go on this workout, so who cares if we miss 1 or 2. Then we have the 2 sets of normal muscle ups, 2 sets of standard ones, right? After doing the weighted variations, these should feel quite simple for you. The second exercise on this routine is high pull-ups. Again, basically just a muscle up but without the transition portion and the dip at the end, okay? We're just trying to pull ourselves as high as we can up that bar, right? And we're doing 3 sets of 6 reps for those. We could do more if we were doing pull-ups, for example, just a nice controlled motion, but we want the explosiveness whenever we can do it, yep? And I'll keep repeating that. Whenever you can be explosive, be explosive. Okay, now here's what I was talking about earlier, the high pulls. We want to be pulling to as far down the body as you can go, basically. Okay, so the more explosive you are, the more force you can generate instantaneously. The higher you're going to get above that bar, right? And again, that comes from engaging the scapula first and then the lats in quick succession. This is perfect training for the muscle up itself, as we are trying to do that on the initial pull anyway, so it's perfect practice. Okay, then we have the standard chin-ups. So these are a bit easier than a normal pull-up. As we have the bicep helping us out a lot more in the movement. Still not easy though, and it's still pulling. You still have to retract your scapula, so it's still perfect practice, alright? You want to be going for 10 sets. I'm going for 10 reps for 3 sets, alright? Okay, next up we have the pull-up, the standard pull-up. Now I actually did 10 on my first set, but I went overboard there. That was a real struggle for me. I basically went to failure on my first set, which, like I said before, is a bad decision, alright? We want to stop just short of failure. Not quite there, but just short. And I should have stuck at 8 reps because that's what I got for the next 2 sets. I'll round down to 8 for free, just because. I don't care about the extra 2 reps, they can go. I don't need them. And again, like doing a scapular pull, the initiation of that, we depress and retract press and retract, alright? And again, like the high pull-ups, basically just treat this as another set of high pull-ups if you've got the energy to do them. If you don't, do it in a nice controlled manner, but of course that explosive generation of force is going to benefit you massively for the real muscle up, alright? So whatever chance you've got to be explosive, take it. Neutral grip ring pull-ups. Now, all pull-up variations will work your back, your lats, the big muscle on the back, as well as your biceps. We do have different grips that put more strain on individual parts, the lats or the biceps. The neutral grip is biomechanically probably the most comfortable pulling grip that you can do. So we've got neutral grip or hammer grip, supinated grip or a chin-up grip, also called underhand grip. Then we have pull-ups, pronated, chin-ups, supinated, and then hammer grip for neutral. We're using the neutral grip for these ring pull-ups, okay? Yeah, any exercise where you're flexing at the elbow joint, flexion does the bicep. The bicep takes care of the flexion motion, right? Then we've got extension, which is handled by your tricep on the back side, right? Flexing bicep, extending tricep. Okay, and finally we have the bodyweight rows on the rings. Now, keeping in the theme of explosive movements, we want to be pulling as far down your body as you can, like with a pull-up where we're trying to pull the bar as low down as we can so we get more explosiveness. We want to be doing the same thing with the rings. Then the rings allow you to keep the hand low as you pull. We can change the position. So I call this one rows, but I've also put in parentheses center of mass. Center of mass rows. So bodyweight rows, but we're just pulling more to the center of our mass rather than a normal pull like that. We want to be down, pulling as low down as we can. It's going to transfer very well to your muscle up strength. And again, thank you for watching. These will probably be pretty much daily uploads at this point. I'm out of work at the moment, so I have nothing else to do. So why not make the most of it and let's get some content out, right? When I'm back to work, I'll have the formula down, and then I should be able to streamline the process and just get these out. So you'll have these pretty much every day or every other day, alright? I'll have my normal workout videos like this, and then I will also have specific breakdowns of moves and patterns that we'll be using within the workouts, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, I can't do this now, stick around, drop a sub, and in the future I'll be uploading tutorials for all of these moves, alright? Yeah, we'll definitely be getting into a regular upload schedule on this channel. I'm having fun, so I hope you are too. Anyway, that's it. I'll have a haircut for the next video, so don't get used to this, alright? I'll see you later.